Dr. Bhasha Mukherjee, is that right?
That's right.
Now, you've been on before.
Yes, I have.
Have you changed your hair?
You said I was flirting when I
There's
said
no
that.
microphone here for the guests now. Let's get back. You're a striking junior doctor.
I'm not striking, but I am a junior doctor.
Why
yes.
are you not striking?
Well, I have actually.
No, he meant looking.
No, doctor. You're not on strike, thank goodness for that. But try and explain to me why the Wallies who are wearing the orange hats, jeering and cheering, and what do they think they're doing? They're idiots.
We've been having this conversation for over a year now. I think it's pretty clear, and even everyone's heard it now. So I don't think we need to keep repeating it. But
Answer the question, please.
It is because we're striking for fair pay, pay
You
restoration.
Get paid fair. You get paid fairly.
You really think £15 an hour is fair?
Yeah, I think it probably is.
For a junior doctor who might be, you know, treating you, saving your life, if your heart was to stop.
But in the future, they'll earn big money. Isn't it part of the process of...
But they need to make a living right now. It's not good incentive for the brightest minds in our country to join the workforce.
Not necessarily the brightest. I mean, I'm under some really good doctors. Just because,
less than 2%.
Just because you're a doctor doesn't mean you're particularly... You know, there are some people who are doctors who are absolutely awful and eventually get struck off. There are some people who are doctors who realise, oh, it's not really what I thought, and go. So they're not... At the moment, the ones who are striking seem to be fairly young. And the BMA is obviously a pretty of a stupid organisation because we are here with no government. We're in an election period, so there is no government that can talk to you at the moment. You should have left it until after the election, then you can do what you like.
Well, that is something that you should put to Rishi Sunak himself. He called the elections amidst the conversations with an unresolved issue. He decided to call the elections.
Yeah, but don't you understand? There is no government. There is nobody that can talk to you while there is an election. So what the hell are you doing? Just to punish Rishi Sunak or to make a political point, which is what you shouldn't be doing?
The strikes have been going on for over a year. The
Haven't done any good, have they?
The discussions have been going on for 20 months.
You
They've
won't
had
get
plenty
35%.
of opportunity to discuss this issue.
You won't get 35%.
Well, the discussion point right
it.
now is that there is an option for potentially doing it over a couple of years or over a number of years. But the government just will not come to the conversation.
Why is it different in Scotland, though? Didn't they accept a lower rate
Scotland.
in
Listen,
Scotland? Yeah.
Do you not understand? I don't know, you're all a bit dim, I don't know. But there is no chance in a run-up to an election to have a discussion about pay increases. And if the doctors who have got time to fanning around, I'm sick of it. I'm under a Dr. Cotilli. I've got terminal cancer, and you know, my doctors and the people who are treating me are great. But the management of the NHS is ridiculous.
I agree with you, 100%. And I think there is some responsibility that needs to be taken by the people who are running the hospitals, because I do think the way the money is managed by each different trust is so different.
We agree.
100%.
But should the doctors take responsibility for, like, the deaths that these strikes will cause? I mean, we had 200,000 people on the heart treatment list. Now it's doubled to 400,000. There's lots of...
The junior doctor strike has only contributed 3% increase in the waiting list. So actually, the government is feeding.
Does that translate to?
The government is just feeding lies to you.
Yeah, but what's 3%? That's lives, isn't it? People have died.
On the non-strike days, who are you holding responsible for the 500 excess deaths that were happening?
Well, I've heard doctors, older doctors, saying we would never strike in our day.
Regardless of the strike days, I'm asking you a question. Who are you going to be holding responsible for the 500 excess deaths that are going to be that were happening every single week from this last winter?
Well, that's the organisation, isn't it? But also, it's...
So is that reasonable?
No, but going on strike doesn't help, does it? That adds to it. And also,
well, this is going to continue unless we make sure the staffing levels are met, that we are procuring and retaining the best staff, and not just, you know, locums who cannot provide continuity of care.
You need a proper management who know what they're doing, not full of diversity lecturers and various other people who are absolutely unnecessary in the health service.
Absolutely
agree. The health service has a huge budget and it's being wasted. Now,
I couldn't have put it better.
Thank you. And I'm every time I talk about this, I get lots of threats, which really I don't care one way or the other. I couldn't care less. But lots of them go on and say, you should be so pleased. I am more than grateful. A guy I've known for 20 years is looking after me. He's an amazing... He's head of... Well, I won't go into that. And on the NHS. But the lack of support, quite often, these people get. And the idea that if I was just having some sort of pain, because when you get cancer, if you've got pain, you're nearly too late. But that's another story. If I couldn't be seen and I couldn't be scanned, or which is what is happening to a lot of people, they are going to get a disease that could maybe have been stopped, but now won't.
And it is so, so sad that this is happening. The waiting lists, as we know, were going up even before the junior doctor strikes. And yes, absolutely, outpatient care and appointments are very important. But the truth is that the very unwell patients that are coming into A&E are having to wait double the amount of time.
40 hours we had someone.
Exactly. That's on non-strike
But is £15 an hour accurate?
That's
because
on non-strike days. So how do you explain that?
Well,
the
no,
state of the NHS
it's horrendous,
is
isn't it?
horrendous.
Well, you've got
That's the right
ambulances
word.
queuing up outside.
Absolutely.
People dying in the ambulances.
Shush. I had an appointment at the hospital a couple of weeks ago on a Saturday morning, and a big hospital in London, right in the middle of it. And it was like a ghost town. There was nobody there. Why was nobody working on a Saturday?
All the equipment's there.
The equipment's there.
Not
you could even do 24 hours. And
you can walk into any hospital anywhere in the country, and I've been working since 2019. This is even before the pandemic. So yes, Rishi Sunak can talk on end about the state of the NHS and the Brexit's to blame, the pandemic's to blame. I'm talking about 2019, pre-pandemic. We were never meeting staffing levels in the hospitals that I was working at.
Yeah, but
going on for decades.
The problem is that politicians are scared of their own shadows, and they're scared to do anything that makes some people say, "Oh, you're trying to privatise the NHS."
Well, it's the sacred cow of the NHS. If we adopted the French system, that would work better, wouldn't it? Basically.
I mean, I think there's some responsibility that the government should take, considering they've spent £3 billion.
But they're only in for 5 years.
They have spent £3 billion of taxpayers' money, your money, my money, on staffing these strike days when they would have just spent £1 billion to just pay doctors fairly. Are you telling me that's a good decision they've made? Along with the hundreds of other bad decisions that's been made by the government so far.
All of that.
The £1 billion that they just threw away on the pay PPE.
Bhasha, I understand all of that. What I don't understand is why these people who are supposed to be concerned about us are going on strike. They're little lefty lunatics, in my opinion, and they sit there grinning inanely with their silly little banners, and the head of the BMA as well comes out and thinks she's some kind of political force, is turning our NHS into a politicised organisation.
Why are you discussing Gaza? Why are you discussing Gaza at the BMA meetings?
So,
you know what I mean?
I'm not part of the BMA either, but I'm talking about...
But that's the problem, isn't it? The
I'm
BMA?
talking as a junior doctor, and I don't think it's just about the money. It is about a lot bigger a problem, actually. It's about restoring faith in the NHS, restoring faith not just for junior doctors, but for other staff as well. It's feeling heard.
It's never going to work well, is it?
It's feeling heard by your employers.
It's doing you no good. This strike is losing you. I just have to look at people who we're going to run out of time before long, who want to call in and talk about it, people who are really angry about this because they're striking, and the BMA head must know this. There is no government now. We're in that position where we're waiting for an election to find out who's going to be the next. Looks like it'll probably be Labour, and I don't think they'll do much either.
And I think the part of the problem that why a lot of the blame is being put on the doctors is because the government is scapegoating. I actually think that the government is a very strategic move on the government to actually antagonise.
You're being political, and you're talking
Maybe
rubbish.
I am.
You're
Maybe
being political.
I am speculating. Perhaps I'm speculating.
You can speculate all you like, but I can assure you that isn't. Every political leader wants to make the NHS work. The problem is there are loads of wally politicians.
Are they willing to spend £3 billion instead of the £1 billion which would have cost?
It's not up to you to decide that. It's up to the politicians, I'm afraid. You can't say, I want this and I'm not.
So they are in charge, aren't they? They are in charge too. They could have resolved this in the last
BMA
12 months.
And the NHS run by people who don't know what they're doing. My friend here went to get something out of his eye the other day, and he was in waiting room with nobody there for how many hours?
Oh no, they were very quick because there was no one there.
When was this?
You said
last week. Yeah.
Last week.
No, it was brilliant. I went in Moorfields within an hour. I was in an hour. It was amazing service. But that's because I think they recognised who I was and they knew they'd be a big trouble. Sorry, I've spoiled it. No, I was there for 2 days, sitting there getting bed sorted. No, they were very good.
Okay.
It was a lucky night. There was no one else there.
Right. Okay.
And I can give you one other example which annoyed me. My wife was rushed to hospital about 6 months ago with a stomach pain. You go in and they assess you, and they said, "Oh yeah, okay, we'll go and sit over there." There's about a couple of hours. She waited for 12 hours.
Was it on a strike day?
No.
So if it wasn't,
listen to what I'm going to say.
What are you trying to say here?
What I'm going to say. It wasn't, and during the time she waited, her appendix burst. Now, had she died, I would have been very, very angry. I'm pretty angry now. From midday until midnight, Nobody comes to see you. There's nobody around.
So I put it to you, how do we make sure that care is better in the NHS?
Make sure the people you are employing are better at their jobs in many cases.
Okay.
Just because you're a junior doctor doesn't mean you're actually good at the job. It means you've got through, you've done the training, there you are. You need to prove yourself over a few years. And if you're getting £15 an hour, and probably more than that doing other things, and, you know,
Even
I don't know how old you are, but I'd imagine you're sort of in your 20s.
That's right. Even if to get to the level, I'm going to sit here and I will let you tell me that, okay, probably we're not the smartest in the country. However...
I didn't say that.
Well, you insinuated that. We're saying, oh, you need to prove yourself.
In your career, where do you go from where you are now? What's your next step?
Well, I'm going to be a GP in a year's time.
So you'll earn good money.
Well, it's taken me quite a lot of work to get to this point. And
will you only work 3 days a week and not go on house calls?
Well, I'm working full-time currently. I haven't thought as far as that. But I haven't spoken to a single one of my colleagues who are not considering either going part-time, leaving the NHS to go join private, going abroad, or taking long-term sick leave. My point is that even if we are forcing and telling the doctors that they need to be at work, people find a way to cope. Okay. And I'm afraid that this is what's happening to a majority of NHS staff. They are either going on sick leave, they are either going on part-time,
and they don't deserve to get any more money.
Because they cannot cope with
they don't deserve any more money then. Look,
because they cannot cope with the pressures,
Bhasha,
that is.
I do appreciate you coming in and having a good old debate about it. I really do, and maybe we can do this when there's a new government. But thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
For what you do, because doctors generally are saving lives.
I think she's one of the good ones.